Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Marketing Invisible. I'm Tom Poland, beaming up to you from the Sunshine Coast in Australia. Joined today by Dan, the Deej Jourdan. Dan, g'day from down under, sir. Very warm welcome. Where are you hanging out?
Oh my gosh. Anytime someone gets to say good day for me, I just feel like I won a prize. That's awesome. I'm here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, where the skies are dripping with sales and opportunity. Baby.
You're welcome. I mean, if you're really nice to me, I'll actually say g'day, mate. And that'll really
Oh,
get you,
yeah. Well,
that'll get
maybe
your
I'll
wheels
I'll
spinning.
earn it. I have to earn the mate.
Mate, you do, mate. All right.
Yes.
No, where I live in Australia, everyone calls everyone else mate. It doesn't mean you want to get into bed with them. It just means, everything's good. All right.
All right.
So, folks, Dan, as you can tell, is larger than life, and everywhere you go on the internet, Dan is there waiting for you to spring into life with one of his very special shirts. Maybe more on that later.
Yeah.
He works with companies who are having problems getting new customers. Very simple, very straightforward, very direct, and he's got a formula for that, which we're going to unpack. The title of this interview is How to Prospect Without Rejection or Fear. Dan, our 7 minutes starts now. So question number one, who is your ideal client?
Ideal client. Good question. Service companies with at least 3 salespeople. And by service company, I mean companies that, do work in people's houses, roofers, HVAC, plumbers, people like that who are really awesome businesses. And the greatest thing about them is they have terrible reputations. And if you're in an industry that has an awful reputation, but you come as a consultant salesperson, standing up straight, looking at people in the eye, shirt tucked in, and professionally approach them, it's like it's just a gift. You're actually giving a gift to somebody, a homeowner who's afraid that they're going to get the industry. And you don't got to worry about selling at that point, because then you got people buying. People hate to be sold, by the way, but they love to buy.
Love to buy. So true, so true. So if we've got this straight up person with the shirt tucked in, rocking up, just standing out like a beacon, right? They
Yeah.
just, and people are going to be drawn to that like moths to a flame. But so what's the problem you solve for them?
Yeah, generally lackluster sales performance from people. There is just, it's a pariah that people have an attitude of I love the sales business. I love making friends from strangers. I'm just a big fan of being able to control your whole, life and your whole income. And it has a reputation of being the profession of last resort. Well, it's not. We changed that. And if I can get into a company, you just give me you do your business. You just give me the salespeople. We'll double your sales. We'll make the culture better, and everything's good.
And so what is, thank you for that, by the way, but what is going on in a business where they might put the hand up and say, I need to speak to Dan Jourdan? What are the symptoms of people who've got this problem? Obviously, they're not converting, or they're not getting prospects. Where's the bottleneck?
Yeah, all those things could be happening, but there's a general feeling of blah. There's high turnover. There's very low kind of buy-in to the company and the culture. Most companies don't even have any culture. They don't have any values. I have one of my clients, we installed their values. It's gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, courage, and kindness. And during our morning meetings, they say, which one most resonates with you today? And all of a sudden people start finding reasons to wake up and come to work. You change that and people are excited by it, that bring that to their prospects, and things just happen.
That's very interesting, because that's not your typical, what people teach about a typical sales mindset. So you're bringing in core values into the sales culture.
Yeah. And it's their values. It's their values, not mine.
Let me
Don't edit that. See, that's the whole idea. The whole idea for sales right now, where things are too fake, they're too phony. We're worried about all that AI business. You need to be real, sincere, and over the top honest. Is this a cold call? Yes. This is as cold as it gets. You'll get the pitch out if you do it that way. Do not edit out a sneeze.
We'll leave the sneeze in there.
There you go. Okay. God bless you, by the way.
Dan, you've got companies wanting more sales, and they're growth orientated. They know need to drive revenue. they might be trying stuff before they find out about you. So what would you say are some of the common mistakes that you've seen clients make before they engage your services?
Great question. And there's two answers to it. One is they do too much, meaning they start top down and say, we're going to reinvent an entire process here and do all the rev ops and the sales ops and get the whole offer straight. They do all that stuff and they do too much. And the other thing that they do is too much of nothing. They just complain about it and they wind up doing nothing. The answer is what you do is you start at the bottom up. And I don't mean to say that the salespeople are the bottom up, but the bottom is, man, we need more cash flow. Once you just work on that, your constant focus is to make more sales and earn more cash flow. Once you have cash flow, you can fix a lot of problems going up. Start from the bottom, start with the most basic way, how to create more revenue, and then we could fix this stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So there's a bit to unpack there if we had time, but we don't. So let's just go for one top tip. That's question 5. One valuable free action that someone can take that it's not going to solve the whole problem, but it could take them a step in the right direction.
Yes. I guess when you're trying to, people think that they have sales problems and they have to kind of coerce and have their pitch better. A lot of times when they think they have sales problems, they have, lead generation problems. And when they have lead generation problems, they think they have sales problems. And so it all starts with the first contact with the client or the prospect. And so while I think that cold calling is probably the worst way to get a customer, it's probably the best way to learn how to sell because you get to adjust things. So the one tip when cold calling and meeting somebody new is never say, hi, how are you doing today? Because they know it's a cold call and they'll put up their defenses. Instead, you use the 7 magic words, which are, I wonder if you could help me. You say that, people lean in and say, sure, how can I help you? And there's your opening.
Perfect. I wonder if you could help me. Perfect. Thank you very much.
I wonder if you could help me.
I wonder if you could help me. So let's 1 minute left. Still a lot of value to offer, folks. This one I think you're going to be kind of interested in. It's a free trial that you can sign up for. What are they going to get, Dan, and where do they go to get it?
Yeah, you get a free week. The reason why it's tough to prospect and you're worried about getting rejected is you're asking somebody for an offer. But what if you could do it by video? And that's what I've been doing lately. And this is the service. You go ahead and you'll get a free week with the video service. But more importantly, you'll get an hour free coaching from me when you sign up. So you go ahead and do that. And you go to
go to Dan Jourdan. That's DanJourdan video.com. Sign up for the 7-day free trial. Videos are one of the best ways to open up conversations and get your message actually heard, as opposed to a plain email. If you go there, there's also a YouTube channel, Dan. So people go to YouTube, the link's under the video, but if you go to YouTube and type in Dan Jourdan, sales coach and mentor, you'll find the channel, subscribe to that. Another way to get some great value from the man himself. Last question, sir, 24 seconds left. What's the one question I should have asked you, but failed to do so?
Well, what about AI? That's the challenge that all salespeople are having. They feel their life is going to be changed by this whole thing. It's actually such a plus for you because of all the AI, because everybody's worried about being faked and being fooled and having all these machines talk to you. If you're on the phone or if you're on the video and you give a real account of what's going on, all that drifts away. You have an opportunity now like you've never had before. There was competition with other salespeople in the past. They're not competition anymore. It's all about realism.
Perfect. Dan Jourdan, thanks so much for your time and your wisdom and insights. Cheers. Thanks for checking out our Marketing the Invisible podcast. If you like what we're doing here, please head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review. It's very much appreciated. And if you want to generate 5 fresh leads in just 5 hours, then check out www.5hourchallenge.com.